Yes, lads, what is going on? And welcome to season 3, episode 14 of The Running Irishman. In this episode, it's quite a special one, maybe in terms of the week of training. Just two or three really quick things before we jump in. This shouldn't be too long of an episode. The first thing is, if you're watching this episode on YouTube, you can see there has been a change in the webcam placement. I've put it a little bit lower down. I kind of like it. It's on top of the tablet I use for, your notes and Spotify and whatnot. It's really handy, and so it kind of, when I'm looking at the questions, I'm looking at all you, and then when I'm looking at the person talking, I'm looking at the screen up here. So yeah, instead of me having to look up here all the time, I can just kind of look straight on, and it's a little bit more natural. And I think from looking at it on the screen here, it's definitely a little bit better of a view. As you can see as well, the second thing is in the background, I got LED strips. I had these a while, but I changed the color to white. And it gives off a little bit better light. And I also have this lamp here that I kind of close over to give a little bit extra lighting, but not too much. This is it full blast and closed over, and then this is it full blast and on. Me personally, I feel like it makes the camera quality look better in terms of movement and everything, but I just think it's a little bit too bright. Even if I bring it down to there, it's still too bright. I think there and like that is probably the best setting. Even if I put it on the low setting and open it up, I just feel like here it's really foggy. Tell me what you all think about it. I'll definitely be messing around with it a little bit more and kind of seeing what I think works best. But I think for now, having it like that is definitely a little bit more even. And I'm not yet used to looking down here at the camera. I'm still, as you know, I was probably looking up here. For anyone watching this episode on YouTube. So yeah, that might take a little bit of getting used to. And the last thing before we jump into this episode of the podcast is we've had a schedule change in terms of the week of training, and this is kind of what's made this week of training quite special. So we'll talk a little bit more about that now when we get into it. Definitely starting to get back feeling good. I've picked up not a bit of a niggle, just a bit of a, I don't know, maybe a strain, just a bit of muscle soreness. I'll get to that when the time comes. But yeah, moving on. As I said, this won't be too long of an episode at all, and I will it's pretty much just there's one really quite special thing in this episode for me personally anyway. And and then we will just carry on through the normal week. So starting off on Monday, it was 6 degrees Celsius, so 70% humidity. It was a 45-minute run. It was 10.04k at 4 minutes 47 seconds per kilometer, or 6.24 miles at 7 minutes 42 seconds per mile. Knees felt good on Monday. Not the best run, not too bad of a run, just kind of got it done in a sense. Comparing that to last Monday, or actually no, I can only compare Thursday through Sunday, because obviously last week I only ran on Thursday to Sunday, as I took that was the start of me coming back from the week break. But yeah, so moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday was 7 degrees Celsius at 82% humidity. Here is where a change starts to take place. On Tuesday, I done a 45-minute run instead of a session. It was 10.35k at 4:29 per kilometer, or 6.43 miles at 7:13 per mile. Good run. Didn't go too fast, went a little bit faster than usual, maybe 7:13 per mile or 4:29 per kilometer. Was it Tuesday? It was either Tuesday or Wednesday where I was looking at my watch and I got down to 4 flat per kilometer. So that was quite cool. I think that might have been Wednesday, but anyway, yeah, for a while now, my coach has been talking about how he's set the week schedule. He set a challenge for us each week to do in terms of a session, and then the rest of the weeks are just kind of easy to moderate running. And I didn't kind of incorporate that until this week, because when I was talking to him on the phone about how my knees and all and how I wasn't feeling good, really, he was talking about how I just need to keep it to the one session a week for now, as no races or anything are popping up, or there's nothing really to be training for, and no need for the real high intensity training, and kind of to build that base for when we're getting back to training, and then we can start incorporating the higher intensity stuff. And preparing for maybe big races or little races. But yeah, there's no real reason for at the moment to be doing 2 sessions a week and to be going really, really hard. So, yeah, that is what's made a big change this week, and it's also brought along something with it that I'll talk a little bit more about then when we get to it. But yeah, not the worst run in the world, and happy to get it done. Felt a bit weird doing a run on a Tuesday. When I was like 30 minutes in or so, I was kind of thinking, I'd probably be done a session by now. But yeah, I got that little bit of extra strength and mileage into my legs, so not too bad there. Moving on to Wednesday. Wednesday was 9 degrees Celsius and 75% humidity. Then moving on to Wednesday, 45-minute run. It was 10.47k at 4 minutes 32 seconds per kilometer pace, or 6.67 miles at 7 minutes 19 seconds per mile. Decent run, didn't feel too bad. The runs this week, have started to come along a little bit maybe. I've been taking those iron tablets, as I think I mentioned last week. I'm not too sure. Well, this is my first full week on them, and after my runs, I can just feel already my legs are nowhere near as stiff as they usually would be after a week. So yeah, that's really, really good. My knees, as I said, I got those compression sleeve yokes, and they've been helping me a little bit. My knees are still at me a little bit every now and then. Some runs they're all right, and some runs they're at me a little bit more than others. But yeah, not too bad overall. And yeah, that was Wednesday's run. Moving on to Thursday, where we can start kind of comparing the past 2 weeks of training. Thursday was 8 degrees Celsius at 70% humidity. 50 minutes, I done 11.09k at 4 minutes 31 seconds per kilometer, or 6.89 miles at 7 minutes 16 seconds per mile. Decent run. Didn't go too fast, just nice and moderate again. But yeah, not too bad of a run overall. The same with these runs. I either feel class, which is rare, feel really bad, which is quite often, or I either feel like okay. And a lot of runs so far over the past while have been just kind of okay. So yeah, that's better than me feeling really bad. Comparing that to last Thursday was 11.57k at 4 minutes 36 seconds per kilometer, or 7.19 miles at 7 minutes 24 seconds per mile. Last week's run was the first run back after a week off. I done a little bit further, but I ended up going a little bit slower. I don't know, maybe I done an extra 2 minutes or something on the watch last Thursday than I did this Thursday. But no, it was 2 solid Thursday runs back to back. My knees definitely felt a lot worse last Thursday than they did this Thursday. So yeah, that's always good, kind of showing the progress a little bit there. Moving on to Friday, it was just a rest day. I went down and played a bit of football with my mates, and that was good fun. They're kind of just like not trying to just sit in and do nothing on the rest day, kind of like still kind of having that balance in a sense that I can go out then and do other things when I'm not running. So yeah, that's exactly what I done on Friday. Moving on to Saturday, was 6 degrees Celsius at 85% humidity. The first and only session of the week, and it's gonna probably be like that until I get back training with the team. Maybe we'll do a week or two of runs in the park when we get back. The government announced level 5 will probably be going on till May. So I mightn't be able to get out to the team until then, which is obviously quite disappointing. But yeah, and also I'm starting back school, like proper school tomorrow, like going in, which I'm not looking forward to, and especially I'm not looking forward to having to come home and having to kind of rush out to get a run in. I'm kind of actually happy that my coach incorporated this kind of schedule, you could say, into our week, because otherwise I would have had to come home like sometimes on my runs before I go out. I can get away with doing a little bit of less foam rolling, stretching, activation and all that, but I feel with sessions I just can't do that. And the fact now I only have one session on a week and I can do it on a Saturday, which is a weekend, is a bit of a blessing in disguise. So yeah, getting out for the runs shouldn't be too bad, but I'm kind of feeling that the runs might get a little bit harder maybe on the legs from here, as I won't have as much time to kind of foam roll and whatnot and get out. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. I was looking through photos today actually of me racing, I mean, with the team and all that, and it's just like, especially during the summer months, oh, I just want to get back so bad. Like, I can just imagine it. I've been imagining it for a while now, and like my mates will tell you, I've been talking about this non-stop, just kind of like sitting, not sitting, getting to training for 7 o'clock, it being really, really bright. We do our warm up in the park. The club is packed. We're doing a track session. We're warming up in the park. Everyone's out in the park. Coming back, everyone's still at the track and doing a session on the track. It's just, it sounds like heaven. And hopefully, it's still these months. April, May is kind of, it's spring, so it's still kind of getting dark at about 7 o'clock. But if this kind of carries on into June, July, when we would be training, and when those days would be possible, then it will really start hitting me where it's like, this COVID thing is really taking a lot away. So yeah, fingers crossed by the start of June and July we can be back up with the team, and yeah, fingers crossed. That's all we can do. But anyway, moving on to Saturday this week, we had a session. It was like our coaches setting us challenges to do. So yeah, they're basically just sessions. But yeah, it was a 5x4 minute hard, which I done 3 weeks ago, I think. I done this 3 weeks ago on a Tuesday, I think, and my legs just, yeah, it was a Tuesday, and then I took a break on the Saturday, or on the Thursday, sorry, and I felt really bad on that Tuesday. My quads were in bitches. Everything was not good at all. But anyway, that was basically 20 minutes hard running, and on 6.60k in 4 minutes 10 seconds per kilometer, or 4.10 miles at 6 minutes 42 seconds per mile. Decent session, felt okay. It was hard. It was a hard session, and it was really windy as well. There was a certain part of it I remember, I just kind of do a loop around my area, or as they say in America, around my block, and yeah, there was a certain part down this long road, where it was just super windy, and that it wasn't too bad. It was a decent session. Pace did like 4 minutes 10 seconds per kilometer, or the 6 minutes 42 seconds per mile. Includes the slow parts as well. So I think I averaged about low 350s per kilometer, and about low 630s to high 620s per mile, and decent enough session. Was happy to get a break from the long run, and to kind of get that hard feeling back in my legs. So no, was happy with that. I feel like I picked up maybe a little bit of a niggle through it. I'm not too sure. My right, not quad, my right glute is at me a little bit. When I was running today, it wasn't too bad. I could feel it a little bit. I'd say it's not major. I'd say hopefully anyway, it will go away as soon as possible. But yeah, that's just something to keep you all up to date on. In terms of if that goes away or not. I cannot compare this session to last Saturday, as that was a completely different session. It was a fartlek session, but that was 75 seconds on, and no, that was 75 seconds on, 45 seconds off. That was the 2 minute cycle session that we usually do on the track with 400s. But yeah, moving on then to today, it was 10 degrees Celsius at 79% humidity. As usual, 75-minute long recovery run, 15.78k at 4:52 per kilometer, or 9.74 miles at 7 minutes 50 seconds per mile. Felt quite good today. Knees felt good. My right glute wasn't too bad at all, and also went quite slow, as you can see there, by the 4:52 per kilometer, and but yeah, felt quite good. Comparing that then to last Sunday, I done 75 minutes. In 75 minutes, I done 15.09k at 4:58 per kilometer, or 9.38 miles at 8 minutes per mile. So a little bit better this week. So yeah, happy to see that, and another really, really, really solid week of training in the bag. These iron tablets, as I mentioned, are really, really helping me. And also just this niggle on my right glute. Hopefully I can get that sorted, and hopefully my knees can get better as soon as possible. Once that happens, once this right glute niggle goes away, and once my knees get better, I'll be flying. I just cannot wait for that. And hopefully I can be all cleared when we get back to training, and I'll be able to, show some good numbers. And in terms of, or on the topic of showing good numbers, total K this week was, drum roll, 64.46k. That's the highest I've ever done. Before this it was 57 odd k, 57 point something. But this week I smashed that out of the park. If I'd done an extra 3k, I would have done 10k more than my highest ever before this week. But 64.46k. As I mentioned, that the schedule change really did help this. At the start of the episode I said the schedule change caused something special to happen this week, and this is it. The 64.46k as my highest ever mileage. They're just some insane numbers. Hope I'd say next week even again. Depending on kind of what session our coach gives us, is if he gives us like, I don't know, 200s or something, like fast 200s, then I won't beat it. But just say he gives us like, I don't know, like just say 1500 repeats, I'd bang this out again. If I got a really solid run next week where I get like, I don't know, 12k on a 50-minute run, and near enough 11k on a 45-minute run, and then edge to 16k on a Sunday run, I could absolutely bang this out of the park again. So I'd say maybe over the next 2 weeks, don't quote me on this, but I could possibly get I could possibly beat this 64.46k, which I'm so happy with. Or in miles, it's exactly 40 miles on the dot, highest ever mileage ever. Comparing that to last week, which by no means is a fair comparison, as last week I only ran 3 days, but I was happy with those 3 days as I still covered 31.66k. So yeah, not too bad last week either. But I'm just speechless in terms of those numbers. I know to some people, even my age, who are doing like, I don't know, 100k a week, 90k a week, 80k a week, or like even some people are doing like 80 miles a week. I'm still only doing about half of that in terms of miles, and only about 3/4 of that in terms of kilometers. But for me personally, and our coach's motto, which is like saving it for the future, kind of getting good solid base work done here, getting good mileage, getting good conditioning work done here, and then being ready for the future. It's really kind of gives me good hope in terms of running for the future. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. With 64.46k per kilometer, or kilometers, or 40 miles this week, highest ever mileage. Question of the week this week, the QOTW, is: how are my legs after a hard week of training and complete my highest ever mileage? They are feeling good. I've already mentioned the 3 key factors of what my legs are like already, but just quickly before we end this episode, as I mentioned, it wouldn't be too long of an episode, but just in terms for the question of the week, the 3 factors, the one that is help my legs feeling good, or should I say the 2 that are helping my legs feel good, and the 2 that are kind of bringing me down a little bit, but hopefully we can get over them. So the 2 that are bringing my legs down, just so we can finish on a high note, the 2 factors that are bringing my legs down a little bit are my knees, which are getting a little bit better. My right one is a little bit better, my left one isn't as good as my right one, but hopefully, as I said, they can fix themselves up as soon as possible. And the second is this pain that I have in my right glute, and hopefully I can get that get that gone. It doesn't really affect me while I'm running. It's just if I do like a slight movement while I'm walking or bending down, I can really feel it then. If I get the massage going really, I can't really pinpoint it. Like when I touch around my leg or touch around my glute, I can't feel it. So it's kind of hard to locate it a little bit, but hopefully I can get the massage going on that a little bit more and hopefully fix that up as soon as possible. And then to finish on a high note, the two reasons why I am, looking forward to the future and why my legs are feeling good are one, I've been doing a little bit extra foam rolling and whatnot, which could possibly change by the time I get back to school. We'll have to wait and see. And two, those iron tablets are really doing wonders. Like usually after a run or something, I'd be like wouldn't be able to walk up or down the stairs. My quads would be in bits. But they're really helping me. So yeah, that is probably one of the best weeks of training I ever had in terms of mileage and how I felt. So yeah, really happy with that. Can't wait to get back with the team as I mentioned and start piling on the hard sessions and kind of showing where my fitness is at. So as I said, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the podcast. Short one, just over 20 minutes, and yeah, really happy with the highest week of mileage ever. As I said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.